Hello, I am Abir Mukherjee, and my topic is on the creation of a course for professionals on software test automation. This presentation is for the final deliverable for CS 6460 Educational Technology. The agenda for today is first, I will introduce the project. Next, I will give a brief overview of why the topic is important. I will follow that with a lesson plan for the course, results from a survey that I asked my peers to take, and finally, a demo of the course setup and the course itself. For my project, I decided to pursue the content track. My final deliverable is a course that contains instructional content and assessments. As I was doing my research on this topic, I discovered that automation covers a very large domain. So the focus of my course is to write automated tests that tests features. There's a lot of interest in automated test case generation using machine learning and AI, which is an interesting area, but I won't be covering that. Also, there's a lot of interest integrating automated tests with test case and test plan management tools like Jira plugins, X-Ray, and Zephyr. Those will also not be within the scope of this course. The motivation to offer such a course is because there is a shortage of people who want to go into test. Software is becoming increasingly complex, and manual testing just isn't fast enough to cover the larger amounts of features to test. It is difficult to find SDETs because skilled coders prefer to go into feature development. Then we have the class of engineers like me who come from other disciplines who can code one-off type of scripts but don't have the knowledge needed to create scalable test code. One final comment is that a question could be, how is my course different than the many that shows how to use PyTest, for example? So I cover topics such as scalability, which is something I haven't seen in other courses. One reason I believe that it is important is because many companies nowadays are looking for those types of skills. Here is a lesson plan developed for the course. First, I go through some very basic setup of the environment so that everyone starts from the same page. I then talk about some of the aspects of functional design, as tests are often broken up to test individual functions. PyTest makes heavy use of decorators, so I want to make sure there is an understanding of that topic. At that point, I introduce PyTest. Then the next three topics are done in random order, as they do not really build on each other, but they're all important. Since test results need to be recorded, logging is almost always done. So should anyone join a test team that does not use logging, this would be a great opportunity to introduce it to the team. The next topic is object orientation and classes. This is required as test code can be organized much more efficiently if you create classes. I then go through some of the more advanced features of PyTest, including fixtures and parametrization. The next two topics, design patterns and mocking tests, are rather interesting. Neither are used much as test code can become increasingly complex and may introduce bugs in the test code itself. And then we'll have test teams spending time debugging its own code. However, and interestingly, these questions are asked in interviews by many of the, quote, top employers. Finally, the last topic is report generation. Although not critical, because the most important thing devs and management are looking for is whether the tests pass. However, report generation which can help provide insights, are also becoming quite popular. This is the course website. The course is set up so that anyone can view the contents. I set it up this way so that the instructors, my peers, or anyone can look at it if they wish. Later, I'll show a demo of the site. A nice feature is that even though you don't create an account or log in, it does keep track of your progress if you visit some topics, then you leave, and then you come back later. So I'm not a web developer, so I don't know how it does it, but I do not collect any data or any information about anyone who visits the website. I suspect that the LMS plugin uses some sort of cookies. I wanted to know how other computer science students and professionals prefer to learn software lessons, so I did a survey to see what my peers thought would be useful. I also asked about everyone's thoughts about video lectures and appropriate lengths. It was very insightful. An average of 3 on a Likert scale would be on the balance neutral. So if you look at the mean column, you can see that respondents pretty much agreed with each question. Because of that, I calculated the standard deviation. That would show which ones had more varying responses. The multiple choice questions seem to be the least favorite method as it has the lowest mean. It also had the highest standard deviation. I wanted to see where this high spread is and if the low mean was being dragged down by outliers on the left. Apparently, the negative skew does show it's skewed left, which is actually expected. But the skew is not that high relative to the other questions. So I would say these measures, or with these measures, it is evident that among the assessment choices, multiple choice questions is not really that effective. So based on this survey, I didn't put in that many multiple choice questions. So one other insight is that real-time feedback is important. And that seems consistent with the data above, which shows that problem sets are slightly better than projects. So you get faster feedback on shorter problem sets than a longer project. So that makes sense. And all in all, the survey results were insightful, and I thank all the respondents for doing this survey. This is the website where the course is hosted on. So I'm using a WordPress site to host the course, and I have a plugin called Learn-LMS and a themes plugin called BuddyBoss, and these work together to help organize the content of the course. So I noticed there were some buttons here: create course, outline from AI, and create from video playlist. So it appears that there's a lot of advances in educational technology as far as creating courses. But for me, I just used the builder. I wanted to have some more control. So this is the website. The link is in the previous slides. And here you can click on these individual topics. So if you actually take the course, it'll actually update the progress that you've made. And this is pretty much the course which I'm hosting. I'm happy to take any questions, or if you have any comments or feedback, that will be very well received. And this concludes my presentation.